that is taking place on a bill in the Lok Sabha as far as when it comes to the objections on part of the opposition that is being raised, and when it comes to what the minister has been saying with the regards, whether it comes to the Union Home Minister or the Law Minister, saying that they have been proposing to send the bill to the JPC. As we stay with the live proceedings that are coming in from the Lok Sabha itself, on the board, Sabyasachi, when it comes to the numbers that are also being highlighted as far as the e-voting on JPC review that has been taking place on One Nation, One Election bill, the procedure that is underway in the Lok Sabha.
Well, that's right. The voting procedure is underway. We had seen that severe backlash from the opposition side. Most of the opposition parties like the Congress, the Samajwadi Party, the UBT faction of Shiv Sena, the Aam Aadmi Party, all of them have opposed the One Nation, One bill, stating that the bill should not be tabled and it should be rejected at the earliest. Now, whether certain political parties like the DMK, they were of the view that the bill needs to be sent to the JPC for a wider consultation. Now, Union Home Minister Amit Shah, in fact, came out and said that Prime Minister Narendra Modi was also of the same view, that the bill needs to be sent to the JPC for wider consultation into this matter. Whereas leaders like Asauddin Owaisi stated that this bill, if brought into power, would finish all the rights of the state. In fact, Gaurav Gogoi, Member of Parliament from the Congress Party, stated that the bill will give illegal power to the EC. And in fact, Supriya Sule also said that the rights of the states will be finished and a presidential form of state government will be put out into place. See, the opposition united, it seems, on the fact of One Nation, One poll, and all of them have opposed the bill. In fact, the opposition stated that the central government, who does not have the majority, are limited to 240 numbers. They do not have two-third majority power in the House, and under these circumstances, the bill should not be even tabled. It should be rejected, and it should not be even sent to the JPC for the wider consultation.
Right, but then how does it really work upon from here? Because as far as when it comes to the Union Law Minister saying that all of the parties on paper, they have not really highlighted as far as their support is concerned, but in person there, as far as the meetings that have been taking place, there are very few of them in the opposition. Just for the sake of opposing, they are opposing the bill, but many of them stand on the same page with the government.
Well, that's right. In fact, when the committee was reviewing the One Nation, One poll, in fact, the former president of the country, Ramnath Kovind, had mentioned that 32 political parties, in fact, have given their support to the One Nation, One bill, and 15 political parties have deferred from giving their support. In fact, the committee also highlighted that this bill is not for one political party. It is not for the benefit of the political party, but it is for the benefit of the country. In fact, every single point of the bill, when the committee was overseeing this matter, in fact, all the stakeholders as well as the economists were of the view that if this bill is brought into power, the GDP of the country will increase to 1 to 1.5%. But it seems that the opposition are continuously protesting, and they are of the view that if this bill comes into power, then the fundamental right of the states will be finished, and it's a direct attack on the constitution and on the democracy, and a lot of illegal power would be given to the EC, and a presidential form of government will be formed, and the centre cannot decide on the fact when the states will have their elections or not. So these are some of the points.
So the opposition seeking a division of votes, as the Law Minister moved the motion to introduce One Nation, One Election bill in the Lok Sabha, with the proceedings that are taking place right now. Let's quickly rewind and put exactly, when it comes to the leaders, the parliamentarians from their respective political parties, what stand that they have kept forth, both from the government side and from the opposition side, how they have been calling it an attack on the values of the Indian Constitution and undermining the federal structure of the country. Let's listen.
अध्यक्ष जी, जो ये चर्चा हुई है, इसका जवाब देने के बाद जो नियम 74 है, जिसमें मैं एप्रोप्रिएट जो मोशन ला करके और जेपीसी के गठन का प्रस्ताव निश्चित रूप से करूंगा, निश्चित रूप से जेपीसी के गठन का प्रस्ताव करूंगा। रूल 74 के तहत जेपीसी के गठन का प्रस्ताव है और सरकार की इच्छा भी है।
माननीय अध्यक्ष जी, माननीय सदस्य बालू साहब ने कहा कि इसको जेपीसी को दे देना चाहिए। जब ये संविधान सुधार का विधेयक संवैधानिक संशोधन जब कैबिनेट में चर्चा में आया, तब प्रधानमंत्री जी ने स्वयं मंशा व्यक्त करी थी कि इसको जेपीसी को देना चाहिए। इस पर विस्तृत चर्चा सभी स्तर पर होनी चाहिए। इसलिए मुझे लगता है कि इसमें सदन का ज्यादा समय जाया करे बगैर, अगर मंत्री जी कहते हैं कि इसको जेपीसी को सौंपने के लिए वो तैयार है, तो जेपीसी में सारी चर्चा होगी और जब जेपीसी के रिपोर्ट के आधार पर कैबिनेट इसको पारित करेगी तब भी फिर से चर्चा होनी है। तो मैं मानता हूं कि माननीय मंत्री जी अगर जेपीसी में रखने की इच्छा व्यक्त करते हैं तो यहीं पर एक चीज समाप्त हो जाएगी।
Why law providing state funding for conducting the election is not brought? Every problem will be resolved. Do all elections. How many monies are being spent? All elections should be brought, should be done from the state election fund. Why you are not bringing? That will be brought real election reforms. This is not the election reform.
Okay.
It is a reform. Sir, I have not finished, sir. It is not an election reform. Listen, sir. It is not an election reforms. It is just a fulfillment of one gentleman's desire and dream. Nothing more than that. No, it is not permitted.
Beyond the 7th schedule of the Constitution is the basic structure doctrine. And that basic structure doctrine spells out that there are certain features of the Indian Constitution which are beyond the amending power of this House also. One of the essential features is federalism and the structure of our democracy. And therefore, the bills which have been moved by the Honourable Minister of Law and Justice absolutely assault the basic structure of the Constitution and are beyond the legislative competence of this House, and therefore they need to be opposed ab initio, and the introduction of those bills have to be stopped.
कई एक विधानसभा के चुनाव अगर कोई अविश्वास आता है, अगर बहुमत नहीं मिलता है, तो क्या पूरे देश का चुनाव कराओगे? पूरे देश का चुनाव कराओगे? और ये लोग एक देश, एक संविधान, एक चुनाव की बात करते हैं। जो लोग 8 विधानसभाएं भी एक साथ नहीं करा पाते हो, मौसम देख के तारीखें बदलते हो, वो लोग बात करते हैं एक देश एक चुनाव की। और आपके माध्यम से देश के जनमानस से कहना चाहता हूं, ये भारतीय जनता पार्टी के लोग तानाशाही लाने के नित नए रास्ते लाते हैं।
Sir, this bill violates the right to democratic self-government, which is part of Article 1419. And if a legislative assembly is dissolved, sir, and midterm elections are conducted, the tenure of that assembly will not be for 5 years, sir. This in itself is a violation of parliamentary democracy, which envisages a tenured legislature. Sir, constitutional scheme makes it clear that once elections are conducted, the House should have a right to function for next 5 years. This is a violation of basic structure. That such a provision is being done for administrative convenience, not for constitutional purpose.
So the bill that has been cleared by the cabinet last week itself, Sabyasachi, how do the numbers stack up here? Because as far as the bill there, if it is sent to the JPC for further consultations that we are looking at, how does it actually stack up when we talk about the numbers in both houses?
Well, see, at this particular time, the centre is confident that they would get the number as far as sending the bill to the JPC is concerned. See, the voting is underway. The centre is continuously of the view that political parties have given their support when the committee was reviewing the One Nation, One Poll bill. At that particular time, several political parties and the stakeholders have given their support to the bill, and they are confident that it would be sent to JPC. Meanwhile, at the start of the session today, we have seen that several political parties, in fact, and their leaders have said that they want the bill should be sent sent to JPC for further and wider consultation of the bill. Now, central government has already stated that it does not meant to bulldoze the bill inside the parliament. In fact, Prime Minister Narendra Modi himself shared the same view that the bill should be sent to JPC. Now, several leaders like Manish Tiwari, Gaurav Gogoi, Asauddin Owaisi, all of them suggested that the bill should be rejected immediately and the bill should not be even tabled because it is unconstitutional and it will finish single-handedly finish the regional parties in the country, and a lot of illegal power would be given to the EC. Under these circumstances, the Speaker should not even table the bill and it should be rejected earliest. So we have to wait and see how things pan out. The voting currently is underway, but it seems that the central government and the NDA government is extremely confident that the bill would be sent to JPC for further consultation.
And it was comprehensive, as we talk about when it comes to the consultation on a wider panel that had taken place ever since the setting up of this committee, as the Ramnath Kovind panel had set up. In fact, when it comes to the comprehensive and looking at all complications that it may also involve, because Sabyasachi, when it comes to the government, there have been giving example that this is not a new exercise that will come into being, especially when it comes to holding simultaneous elections. Examples of other countries also holding simultaneous elections that have been given, and of course saying that why exactly certain amendments are needed to require synchronization of elections to happen in a phased manner.
Well, that's right. See, the central government is saying that in the past also simultaneous polls have taken place in the country. If you talk about the time period between 1950 to 1967, between this time period, there were simultaneous polls that has taken place in the country. In fact, after 1983, in several records, there has been mention of simultaneous polls. Now, the central government says that the committee which has been formed, there is no, it has not bulldozed the One Nation, One Bill. In fact, several stakeholders like representative of the other political parties were also present, economists and other stakeholders were present, and their consultation was also taken in while making the bill. In fact, Ramnath Kovind also emphasized that this bill is not for any political party, but it is for the benefit of the nation, and this bill can only be passed with the consensus of all the political parties across the country. But it seems that the opposition is stuck on the view that the present government, the NDA government, is trying to bulldoze the One Nation, One Bill. They have been continuously maintaining that one person and his desire is being fulfilled by the NDA government, be it the Trinamool Congress or even the Congress party, which calls this One Nation, one person, One Nation, One political party. So such references are coming in from the opposition parties, but clearly at the beginning when the committee was reviewing this particular bill, in fact, Ramnath Kovind in several occasions had made it clear that the perception and consultation from all the stakeholders have taken into consideration while drafting the bill, and it will be for the benefit of the nation, as the GDP will also increase and there will be a lot of economic relief that this bill would generate. But the opposition are maintaining the fact that it would change the federal structure of the country, as the states, India is a union of states, and the state and the center cannot decide on the term of the states, is what the opposition leaders have been saying.
Yes, so as far as what the opposition leaders mainly have been suggesting, calling it as in a way that undermines the values of the Indian Constitution, also in a way suggesting that it is an attack on the federal structure. But when it comes to this high-level committee that was headed by the former President Ramnath Kovind, has made several recommendations for simultaneous elections in the Lok Sabha and the state assemblies as the first step, then to hold municipal and panchayat polls within the next 100 days of general elections in the next phase. All of these, when it comes to the recommendations, have been given a go-ahead by the cabinet when it passed it last week, and today when it comes to that very bill has been introduced in the Lok Sabha. We'll be getting you the live proceedings. We'll be back on the other side of a very short break. Stay tuned.